Oh, shucks, we've made it. We've just about made it. It is Senior Bowl day here in Mobile, Alabama. And to be completely honest with you, is it the biggest day of the week? No, it isn't. The biggest days of the week have come and gone. But today is the culmination of a whole week's worth of practices and networking and all that fun stuff. And, you know, the craziest part of all of this is that this has been, and there's always, given the timing of Senior Bowl week, there's always some weird, wacky, crazy stuff that goes down every Senior Bowl week. This year, if I'm being completely honest with you, that doesn't just take the cake, it runs away with it. We had an actual sitting NFL GM come to Mobile, scout, talk to players, the whole damn thing, and then was fired. I don't know if he was down here or not, but he was fired. And I'm not saying Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah wasn't deserving of being fired. He absolutely was. What I wonder is, why now? Why now as opposed to 3 weeks ago? I think that's what everybody's confused about, because if you fire him now the Vikings are basically going into this process without a GM. And they've come out and said, we're not hiring a new GM until after the draft. So what is now an extremely crucial hiring, or an extremely crucial offseason for them, with a quarterback that they don't know if he's the guy. And it's a pretty terrible look on the entire organization to fire a guy that was scouting for you that week. I've never seen anything like it. At least in NFL terms, this is completely unique. And I understand that Diana Rossini is saying, oh, this was widely expected. If it was widely expected, why would it be now? It's not widely expected to fire a guy right before the Super Bowl, during the Senior Bowl. Like, it has come and gone, the time and place to bring in a new GM. All of this is so incredibly confusing to me. I cannot wrap my head around it for the life of me. And I think a lot of people are feeling the same way, just why the timing is what it is. And I'm not saying it's not justified. The way this was handled stinks. It stinks out loud. It all stinks. And if you're a Vikings fan, I feel for you. I mean, just in general, not even a today thing. This feels so New York Jetsy. I think that's the right word. Like, I'm completely baffled as to how this was all allowed to go down. Sometimes you just have no words. And I have no words on this one. I don't get it. I'm not even going to try and get it. Except the Minnesota Vikings sent their GM to Mobile, Alabama, and the Senior Bowl, and then turned around and fired him and are not replacing him until the season's over, until this draft process is over. Speaking of which, this is the post-Senior Bowl mock draft. I think it's going to look a little bit different. I've clowned on my mock drafts in the past. The first thing I can tell you is that we're going to start at 2. I think every mock draft from here on out starts at 2. Why? Because everybody knows who's going number 1 and where he's going. There's no need to mock Fernando Mendoza to the Las Vegas Raiders. That's a done deal. Raiders haven't even hired I say they haven't hired a coach. They're hiring Clint Kubiak. Like, it feels pretty obvious to me. So might as well just rip that Band-Aid off. Well, they can't until after the Super Bowl. But Fernando Mendoza is going to be a Las Vegas Raider coached by Clint Kubiak. He'll have Trey Tucker and Brock Bowers to throw to and Ashton Jeanty to hand the ball off to. It's a good situation, at least as good of a situation for a rookie QB coming in as I've seen in a while. Of course, the ownership there isn't great. And of course, the division is really tough to play in. Other than that, it's definitely better than what Cam Ward came into last year. Now, the New York Jets need everything. New owners, coaches, stadium. This is a mess. But I did mock Arvell Reese to them last time, and I will do so again. This seems to be the consensus pick at 2. I'm not saying I don't think I would do it here, but the Jets are the Jets, and they're going to go. They don't have the coaching staff that is going to be able to unlock a guy who is so raw and Arvell Reese. We all know what the athletic abilities are. Maybe they'll just use him as an edge rusher. I don't know. They're the Jets. They're going to screw it up, but they'll pick him. They'll certainly pick him. Here's where I have questions, and I've gone back and forth on who is the right pick here for Arizona at 3. We're not into our Senior Bowl guys yet. I still have Francis Mauigoa as a top 3 pick in this draft. I think they need a tackle. I also think Arizona hasn't hired a coach yet either, so I don't even know where they're going to go with this, and I don't know who they're going to hire. They need offensive line. I think Mauigoa is the safe pick. I've been mocking him there the entire time. He's the best tackle in the draft. He's the cleanest prospect in the draft tackle-wise. Okay. Now we can mix it up. 4th overall, I am going to be mocking a wide receiver to the Tennessee Titans. New head coach Robert Saleh is bringing on Brian Dable, the former Giants head coach who loved Cam Ward in the draft process and supposedly loved Jordan Tyson in the draft process for the Giants. He's going to get to pair Jordan Tyson, who is a George Pickens-esque receiver, with his new shiny toy at quarterback. Not the best player available, but I think this is where the Titans are going to want to go. They know they have a gem at quarterback, so might as well. Giants at 5, Ruben Bain is here, and I would love to see the Giants not pass on him, but I also would love to see the Giants not pass on Caleb Downs. You have a safety that could be generational. Now, I will say, if Kayvon Thibodeau is available for trade, the Giants might move off of him and select Bain. I don't have an issue with that. It would create the best stable of pass rushers in the NFL. I'm tempted. I'm very tempted, but I'm going to pick Caleb Downs. I think the allure of John Harbaugh selecting an elite safety is just too much. It's too much to bear. 6th pick, Cleveland. I'm very confused as to what they're trying to do. Todd Monken hire is a mess. But I've mocked them Carnell Tate in the past, and if they want to truly build around Shedeur Sanders, who I'm not that high on, but then again, I guess they're going to move forward with him. I can't move off of the Ohio State guy staying in state. It just feels sensible. But the way the board plays out now with 2 teams reaching for need at wide receiver is the Washington Commanders, who are in dire need of defense, wind up with possibly the best player in the draft in Ruben Bain. They can't pass up on him. This is a dream this is just an absolute, you cannot script this any better whatsoever. New defensive coordinator Durante Jones is from the Brian Flores tree, and I think he'll be flipping for this one. The Saints at number 8. I know so many people want to draft Jeremiah Love there. I think there's still too many holes on the roster to feel comfortable going running back at number 8 overall pick. Kansas City, I can give Jeremiah Love just because you have Patrick Mahomes and you need to give him some more juice to run with on the offense, especially with bringing Eric Bieniemy back. I kind of like that for the Chiefs, not going to lie, but I'll send David Bailey, the talented Texas Tech edge rusher, now to New Orleans. This is starting to differ a little bit from my previous mocks. Jeremiah Love, yeah, that's an easy pick there at number 9 to Kansas City. 10, Cincinnati Bengals. Duke Tobin is still here. Zach Taylor is still here. Safety would have been nice. Caleb Downs would have been great. But this feels like a reach for need. A GM that would do such a thing. Keldrick Falk, the big run-stopping edge rusher from Auburn, someone who I've been very high on, but the production maybe not quite there. I'll give him to Cincinnati Bengals at 10, 11. It's not Chris Greer making these picks anymore, so I'm not going to reach. Let's go Mansour Delane. My favorite cornerback in the class. Miami absolutely needs secondary. Easy pick there for the Dolphins at 11. 12. I hate how good this pick is for Dallas. Sonny Styles, Ohio State linebacker. My favorite Ohio State linebacker in this draft class. Makes me sick thinking about how good of a fit he is there in Dallas. Just sort of the player that falls right into the laps of the Dallas Cowboys. 13. The Los Angeles Rams. You have cornerback, wide receiver. I'm like, yeah, Ravens fans are going to kill me for this. I'm going to send Mekhi Lemon at 13 to the Rams. And this is heartbreak city for Baltimore, who's waiting for this player to drop into their laps, may possibly be the best receiver in the class when it's all said and done. Oh, so close. But no, you don't get Mekhi Lemon. Instead, you're forced to pivot. And where do the Ravens go? First year under new head coach Jesse Minter. I love what he's building coaching staff-wise. Ravens instead will go safe. Go Vega Ione, the guard out of Penn State. I love this player, by the way. This is not a bad pick by Baltimore whatsoever. It's just not the flashy, oh my God kind of guy that perhaps Ravens fans are wanting after coming oh so close the last few years. Tampa Bay, 15. I like Jermod McCoy, Tennessee cornerback here. The one caveat with him, he's coming off an ACL injury that no one really knows how healed he might be. But the Jets need a cornerback, and they're sitting here at 15. Instead, they're not going to get him. 16. The Jets just did nothing right defensively last year, right? They do need a cornerback. Am I reaching for Avion Terrell? I guess not. I guess someone that creates turnovers for a defense that did not force a single interception all last year. It's a good pick here at 16. 17, the Detroit Lions. Are we into Senior Bowl territory yet? I don't think so. I'd love to be, but we're not there quite yet. None of the Senior Bowl guys I have this high just yet. They need actually, I'm going to change my mind on that. First Senior Bowl guy off the board. Look at that. TJ Parker, Clemson defensive end. He was fantastic all week long. They had maybe a little bit less production than people would have liked out of him this season, but he flashed and then some in Mobile. We got to see it up close and in person. There's your pick at 17. At 18, Minnesota. This is tough because they need DB, but all the best DBs are off the board. They need running back, but all the best running backs are off the board. They need center. There's no one worth drafting that high. I know Kwesi's gone, but I'm still going to trade back. Los Angeles Chargers. I like this move. Chargers trade up from 22. Minnesota will give up the 18th pick. I'll figure it out. Let's go third rounder this year and next. Boom. Los Angeles Chargers are on the clock. They need run stuffing, defensive line. Let's go with the big physical Peter Woods out of Clemson. We have 3 straight Clemson Tigers drafted here. I love that. Just goes to show how much skill Dabo Swinney wasted this year. This is one of the more talented teams in America. They have 3 straight first-round picks. Crazy. 19th pick, Carolina Panthers. I've mocked Casey Concepcion here plenty of times. And I think Carolina's still going to be able to get him if they trade back a bit. So we're going to engineer another trade. This time, Philadelphia Eagles. This makes me want to puke. The NFC East is killing this draft. Are going to move up from 23 to 19. Instead, they will send a third this year and next. Nope, let's go third and a fourth. Third this year, fourth next year. Up to 19. Carolina trades down. Philadelphia, who do they need? With Dallas Goedert potentially moving on, they need another tight end. And Kenyon Sadiq is the best tight end in this class. This is just a nauseatingly good draft for the NFC East. Like I've said, speaking of the NFC East, the Cowboys are back on the clock. And the Cowboys, once again, have a great player fall right into their laps with Cassius Howell, the Texas A&M defensive lineman, there for the taking, produces plenty of sacks. And this Cowboys defense will be able to get after the quarterback. Sonny Styles and Cassius Howell. Good Lord almighty. Dallas is killing this draft. 21, Pittsburgh Steelers. Like I say receiver, but like who's throwing in the ball? Are they going to draft another quarterback first round? Because Ty Simpson's just Kenny Pickett. Yeah, they're going to draft Ty Simpson. This is the Mike McCarthy, milquetoast, vanilla as can get kind of draft pick. I'm not a fan of it, but then again, like I said, this is what they would do, not what I would do. 22, Minnesota back on the clock, and I still really don't like my options here. Are you reaching for a guy? Are you... They don't need receiver, and that's what so much of this next little bit is. We're gonna reach, but I like this pick. It's the highest I've had him so far, but Dylan Thieneman is a ball hawk. I love this player. I think with Harrison Smith retiring, he is pretty solid heir to that role. Vikings fans will like him pretty quickly. Yeah, I like this pick. 23, Carolina, they still need wide receiver help. They also need help on the defensive line. They can go a myriad of ways. But I think Casey Concepcion, the guy who I've mocked to Carolina in the past, still fits here. And they get draft capital while picking him up. 23, that's done. 24, Cleveland Browns. They already have a wide receiver in this class in Carnell Tate. I'm going to give them some help on the O-line. Let's go Spencer Fano. Wow, he has fallen pretty far. I don't love his anchoring. I think technically he is not as sound as people would like him to be. But hey, you get someone that well regarded at 24, you have to run to the podium and pick him. Easy. 25. Chicago Bears select Caleb Banks, another Senior Bowl riser out of the University of Florida. They need run stopping, defensive line help. This guy is athletic, freaky, rangy. You know the drill. 26, Buffalo Bills. We're going to go with one of the biggest Senior Bowl risers this week, and that is Zion Young out of the University of Missouri. Go Tigers. He was an animal off the edge all week in Mobile, all season long. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. A violent player, as he likes to describe himself. Perfect for getting after Drake May and trying to take that division back. 27, San Francisco 49ers. I like Denzel Boston here, Washington wide receiver. This feels like a solid pick. Give Brock Purdy some more weapons. 28, Houston Texans. They go Caden McDonald, or do they go with my Senior Bowl riser? I think that's who they're going to go with. Give them Lee Hunter out of Texas Tech. This guy stole the show in Mobile all week long. I am very excited to see what he could do in that DeMeco Ryans defense. The Rams are back on the clock at 29. And no, they are not picking a quarterback here. There's nobody worth taking. I've given them a wide receiver first. Let's go back to the cornerback well here. I like I'm thinking about this. I want to give them D'Angelo Pons. I'm going to change my mind there. Let's go Caleb Lomu out of the University of Utah. Second Utah tackle to go off the board in short order. That feels like a safe pick, and it is a position of need. Denver Broncos at pick 30. Is Caden McDonald going to fall out of the first round? At least he's going to fall past Denver. I still like Eli Stowers here. I mocked him last time. 31. Now we go Caden Proctor. Is he a guard? Is he a tackle? Either way, the Patriots need both of those positions. So this is an easy pick for me to send Caden Proctor to New England. I'm not sure if he's going to be liked there, but I think he's the best player available. And in this scenario, the Seattle Seahawks win the Super Bowl. And what does a Super Bowl team need to keep things going? I'm going to give them a linebacker, make that already nasty defense even better. Anthony Hill Jr. out of Texas, my best linebacker in the class. This is a good mock draft. I think this is my favorite mock draft thus far. And that's all I got for today. I'll talk to you on the other side of the Senior Bowl.